So I got a question yesterday or late yesterday, maybe evening, from a subscriber about really twofold. First, how important is it to have your significant other's support, when getting into real estate investing, and then a follow-on question was sort of any recommendations on how to go about go about making that. So I thought I would start this answer with a story from our experience. And this actually goes back to our very first investment, that property on Norris Drive. And I'll sort of share the story with you here. It'll probably take a couple of minutes, but hopefully you'll see at the end kind of what my answer is. So let me set it up. So we spend, a year, first looking in the Bay Area, not finding anything, right? This is a ridiculous market. Nothing makes sense. You can't cash flow. You couldn't cash flow in 2003. Certainly can't cash flow in 2018, 19. So just ridiculous. Anyways, so after that, literally 52 weeks every weekend, Olivia goes, why don't we look somewhere else? And, we decide, do we want to go out of state or local? We decide locals for us. So we decide driving distance. Long story short, we find Fresno is the first market of size that makes sense. We know no one there, have no special connections, nothing going on. We through a friend of a friend, find a contact that somebody knew somehow. We go see them. We only see one property available because it was a seller's market in '03. If you can believe this, it was a seller's market just like we had in 16, 17, and 18. So things were flying off the shelf, right? And it would only get worse as lending got so loose. But so we saw one house. It met our criteria. We only saw one house, right? We saw lots of stuff that was pending or closed and all of that, but only one available. So we're like, wow, well, we expected to see more. We don't know what to do. We jump in the car. We pull over probably a half hour in and just look at each other and go, we're either going to do this or not, right? It made sense. It made our investment. We wasted it. We felt like we wasted a year. As it turns out, we learned a lot and all of that, but we felt like I had to make a decision. So we both look at each other and we go, met our criteria and make an offer. So we made a full price offer. It was accepted. And then, then the excitement began. We were over the moon, right? We got our first rental, right? Of course it closed 30 or 45 days later. I think we spent, I don't know, $2 to $5 grand, whatever it was, cleaning it up, painting, just doing what you do in your first rental. Then it was like, okay, is it going to get rented? Got rented right away. Okay, did it get rented for what we expected? Absolutely, right? We got 1095 for it. Just call it 1100 for this video. Family, husband, wife moved in, plans to have children. It was a nice 3-2, 2-car garage, great neighborhood. And we were over the moon, right? We thought we'd solved it, right? Not only did we, have this belief that real estate investing was the way to go, but now we had proof, right? We did it. Unfortunately, that's where the story gets less happy. It turns out that, unbeknownst to us, that the relationship broke up of the couple that moved in. What once was great credit and jobs and all of that turned to nothing. The wife took off. We never heard from her again. We heard later that she had moved out of state. The husband, in this case, was not happy with the situation. He decided to turn to alcohol to feed his whatever it was. He decided to destroy the house, slowly. He decided to lose his job. He decided never to pay rent again. And, the story goes as you might expect. In California, that means, we had roughly 90 days to get out a non-paying tenant who was destroying our property. Means we got no rent. Still had those mortgage payments. Still had to pay those. Let's just call it 3 months later, got him out through evictions, and sheriff had to come and take him out and move his stuff to the curb. That was fun. Then, of course, I think we had 10 or 15 days. We had to basically be a storage unit because he has the right to come back and collect his stuff and all of that. That was fun. Then we finally get inside and, what was a beautiful, fully remodeled and house and painted and all of that is now basically a $20,000 or $15,000 remodel. That was fun. That was painful. And then we had to, go stick a tenant in after a, I don't know, 4 to 6 week remodel, right? Because it wasn't a simple one. So, the good news is after that, the story got better for that house and it was fine for us. But I want you to think about that, right? So we bought a house really excited after a year, only saw one, had to decide either to take a shot or not. We thought we'd figured it out. The rug got pulled out from under us because this is a people business and life happens and all of that stuff. And we basically went 6 months getting only that first month rent and their deposit. So in essence, we had to cover 4 months of mortgage payments on our own. And in total, we had to spend about $20,000 both up front and after repairing the unit, which was essentially the down payment on another house that we did not plan for. So I share this story not because it's fun, it's still painful to talk about, but I share it because having your significant other 100% bought in has to happen. If in my case Olivia was not 100% bought in, I would have been hearing about this is not for us. Real estate investing is just like the stock market. It's a gamble. It's not for everyone. All those books are lies. You just get away. We have to do something else. But no, she was 100% bought in. She may have had even more confidence than I did. I had to ask questions of myself. That was, like if they're going to all be like this, right? You start asking yourself some silly questions. So again, having your significant other 100% bought in has to happen because real estate investing will test you. Now, you may never have the experience that we did, and I hope you don't. It was terrible, but life's going to happen. People are not going to pay you. Contractors are going to take from you. Bids are going to come in higher than you want. All this stuff's going to happen. And if your significant other is not on board, stop, full stop, have the discussion, figure it out. Because I promise you, those conversations after that are going to crush you. If Olivia was not 100% bought in and only 99% bought in, can you imagine the conversation after 6 months of having to pay mortgages and having a vacant unit and eviction and all of that stuff? So, my thoughts on this question is they have to be 100% bought in. So, how do you go about doing that? The only answer is you have to have real meaningful conversations. Why do you want to do it? How do you want to do it? What are you looking for? The things that we did up front that I thought got us there were we had conversations about what a deal looked like. Most significant others, when one party is more interested in the other, you have to realize that other individual, what they're likely seeing is risk and being uncomfortable. So I find what you have to do is you have to go, okay, these are the only things I'm going to look at. I'm going to look at a property that's going to cash flow minimum $250. I'm going to look for a property that generates 6% cash on cash return, whatever it is. I'm going to conservatively finance so we can hold forever, right? So, you have to realize where they're uncomfortable and address that. So, maybe a bank will approve you for 20% down, but your significant other is risk averse. Put more down. Put 40% down. Make it a no-brainer to cash flow. Maybe it's, maybe they're uncomfortable with out of state. Listen to that. Figure it out. You have to have the meaningful conversations because I promise you, real estate investing will test you. It will find the cracks in your relationship. And if you're not 100% on board, I feel for you because you're going to have some tense moments that are likely to be uncomfortable and things you could have avoided. So in the end, I guess closing out on that one story, that property, although it started horribly, turned out to be a great property for us. The property went up 150% in 3 years. We 1031 that house into a big apartment building, moved our equity, saved our net worth, gave us cash flow. It was awesome property. And then the other thing to point out is over the course of our 15 years, we've kind of had 2 situations that was kind of like that, but likely had thousands of tenants. So it certainly sucked that it was our first one and it could have crushed us. We could have gave up and done something else. But I wanted you to know that that's very rare. Again, I think it's happened to us twice, once in a house, once in an apartment unit where, that kind of situation transpired. But, I always want to share what's going on, and hopefully our pain causes you to have some conversations and the like. All right. Have a great day.